One of the biggest reasons I ended up believing Christianity is true is because of the way it understands God. If God created the universe, then he can't be limited by time, space, matter, or the laws of nature, because he's the one that created them. It also changed how I looked at heaven and hell. For the last 3 years I was taught that heaven and hell is basically a physical place. Yeah, nothing like creation, but still got a physical element to it. Then when I started really looking into Christian theology, it's a lot deeper than that. Heaven is ultimately like perfect communion with God. Hell is eternal separation from him. And even if there is a physical aspect to the resurrection and new creation, the heart of heaven is being with God, in union with him. If our whole purpose is to know and love God, who of course is the source of everything good, then it makes sense that heaven and hell is whether we're in communion with him or eternally separated. Then of course people ask, how can a man be God? I used to ask the same thing. Here's why my perspective changed. Christians don't believe Jesus was half man, half God. We believe he's fully God and fully man. So his divine nature is one with the Father. His human nature is just genuinely human. So again, on a spiritual level, he's eternally begotten. He wasn't created. The flesh, of course, was. Now, when I first heard that, I thought, well, that's impossible. But then I asked myself, am I rejecting this because it's a genuine logical contradiction? Or is it because I'm expecting Almighty God to be able to fit into my human mind and my limited understanding? If God really is all-powerful and beyond creation, who are we to decide what he can reveal about himself? To me, that's not a contradiction. It's a mystery. Another thing that really convinced me was the historical evidence. Jesus being crucified isn't just a Christian belief. It's actually one of the most widely accepted facts about his life. Even amongst historians they're not Christian. They've got no reason to lie. Now of course that alone doesn't prove Christianity to be true, but it does mean we are talking about a real historical event. Then of course I started looking into the resurrection. So I looked into some historical evidence, the empty tomb, the disciples' testimony, and why the earlier Christians were willing to suffer and literally die for a lie. The Old Testament contains verses that kind of point to the coming of the Messiah. And of course that was written centuries before Jesus was born. Now I know many people disagree with how that should be interpreted, but when I looked at the overall picture, I found it hard to argue against. So when I put all of that together, a God that's beyond creation, the person of Jesus Christ, the solid historical evidence for his crucifixion, the case for the resurrection, the fulfillment of the prophecy, and the Christian understanding that I find deep, that heaven is ultimate communion with God and hell is eternal separation from him, I came to one conclusion. For me, Christianity is not just one religion amongst many. It's the most coherent explanation of who God is and how he revealed himself to humanity. If you disagree, that is completely up to you. But this is the conclusion I came to after sincerely seeking the truth.